Shalom and welcome to another Hebrew class. And today's Hebrew class is dealing with Yehochanan, John 18, verses 21 to 25. So let us begin. And as usual, we put up a chart to help any new people with using the valve markings. And they are called Nikud. And then I've included also the useful resources that we use often in order that we understand the root words and the transliterations. So let us begin. And as we can see, we're in 21, and it is represented by a calf which has a value of 20 and an aleph a value of 1. So we go through the letters now and we say Vav, Mem, He, Tav, Shin, Aleph, Lamed, Aleph, Tav, Yod, Shin, Aleph, Lamed, Nun, Aleph, Aleph, Tav, He, Shin, Mem, Ayin, Yod, Mem, Safit, Mem, He, Shin, Dalet, Bayet, Resh, Tav, and Yod. And just quickly looking at how the vowels affect the letters, the Vav is no longer a Vav, it's because of the vowel mark, it is said U. And let's have a look if there's any others that we need to think about. We see the dot here. It is actually not part of the letter. It's the vowel. So, and that's why I've got an arrow to say it should be a little bit further over so we don't confuse it. All right, and of course this one, rather than a vayet, which is what you get when there's no dagesh in it, but with the dagesh, it's a bet. Right, so now let us begin. And it is ma, which is and, ma is what. If we look down here, ma is what or what are, right? And what, tishal, right, tishal, you shall ask. The tav is telling us it's like second person and it's shall, right? And then the root word is sha'al, which is a kal verb to ask, to question. So, and what you shall ask, oti meaning me, sha'al meaning ask, na, now. And na can be now or please. Et grammar marker, ha shom im, Hashamim, the one hearing. And we get that impression from the hay in front of it. It means the one's hearing. So the one's hearing, because it's also plural, right? And then we have ma, what, she, di, bar, ti. Now the she can be that. What is that? And of course the T is I, and dibar meaning speak, right? What is that I spoke? And the sentence structure in English is, why are you asking me? Just ask those who heard what I spoke. And now we can read it without any aid and see how we go. Uma. Tish'al, oti, she'al, na, et, ha, shomim, ma, she, di, bar, ti. And now we go to the translation. And what you shall ask me, ask now, grammar marker, the ones hearing, what is that I spoke? And now we move to part B, which is an aleph, lamed, yod, he, mem, safit. He, nun, mem, safit, yod, vav, dalet, ayin, yod, mem, safit, aleph, tav, aleph, shin, resh, aleph, mem, resh, tav, and yod. And just a note here, the vav here is not a vav either. It's the vowel marks. It's a cholam, so it's yod. So it's O sound. So let us begin. Alehem, meaning unto them. Right? And then hinam, well, we know that hine means behold, so the he is dropped off the end, and the memsofit is them or they. So behold, they, yodim, no. And why do we say no? It comes from the root yada, which is it's actually a kal verb, not noun. To know, to recognize. Et grammar marker ashir, what amarti, I have said. So the translation is what I spoke to them. Behold, they know what I have said. So now let us read that. And it is Alehem, Hinam, Yodim, Et Asher Amarti. And the translation, unto them, behold, they know, grammar marker what, I have said. And then we come to 22, represented with a kaf, value of 20, and a vayet, the second letter of the alphabet, meaning its value is 2. And then we have Vav, Yod, Hey, Yod, Kaf, Dalet, Bayet, Resh, Vav, Hey, Dalet, Vayet, Resh, Yod, Memsofit, Hey, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Vav, Yod, Kaf, Sofit, Aleph, Chet, Dalet, Hey, Mem, Shin, Resh, Tav, Yod, Memsofit. And now we read it. Vahi, and it was. Translated often as, and it came to pass, right? And it was, Kedab Ro, which is literally like his speaking, and normally translated when he spoke. Ha-davar rim, meaning the words. Ha-ele, ha-ele, meaning these. Vayak, and he struck. Right, remembering that no pronoun means it's a he, but, and these are prefixes saying it's a completed action, but it only has one letter from the root word, and the root word is hika, which is the verb to hit, to strike. And sometimes that's what happens in Hebrew. They drop the weak letters, and the hey is a weak letter, so both the heys are dropped off, and we just got to learn to identify that. And then we've got achad, meaning one, and I've added one of, and he struck one of. And then we got ham sharatim, the servants. So that's a noun, and down here we got sharet, which is a PL verb, and it means to serve or to assist. And there's the noun form of it. And it's plural also with the im at the end. So it's the servants. And it came to pass, when he spoke these words, struck one of the servants. Right, now we can read that one. Vahi kedab ro ha-davarim ha-ele. Vayak achad ham sharatim. And the translation, and it was, when he spoke the words these, and he struck one of the servants. Now that might sound funny, but it means one of the servants struck, rather than, because Hebrew always tells you afterwards. It's like it comes after rather than the structure of the English, which would say one of the servants struck. Even though here I've translated it, struck one of the servants. Right, so now we move on. And we got 22b, which is Ahe Ayin mem dalet shin mem hey aleph tav yod hey vav shin ayin lamed hey lamed chet yod vav yod aleph mem resh hey kaf zayin aleph tav tav ayin nun and hey. So let us begin reading here, and we begin with Ha-omed, and it is the one standing, so therefore it's a noun. The one standing, Shema, there, et grammar marker, Yahushua, the one standing. Now it means the servant, the one standing there. And then Yahushua, that is the one being struck. And then it is al, meaning upon, ha-lechi, the cheek. If we look down here, lechi is a feminine noun meaning cheek, or jaw as of a tool. Vayomar, and he said, again, because there's no pronoun, it's he, ha-kazot. Now the ha is a questioning hey, right? Meaning like this. So he's asking the question, like this. Ta'aneh. Now the tav tells us it's second person, and which is you, and it also tells you an incomplete action. You will, or you shall. And then we have ana. If we look down here, ana, again, it's got the full word, and ana is a cold verb to answer, to reply, or to respond. So you will answer, or you shall answer, right? You will answer is probably better. So the English is one of the servants standing there. So struck, one of the servants standing there upon his cheek, that's where he struck, and he said, is this how you answer? Right, now we can read that, which is Ha-omed Shama et Yahushua al ha-lechi Vayomar ha-kazot ta'aneh. And the translation, the one standing there, grammar marker Yahusha, which is the one being struck, upon the cheek, where he's been struck, and he said, like this you will answer. Right, and then we have part C, and we see we've got an aleph, a tav, a hey, a kaf, a hey, a nun sofit, meaning nun at the end of a word. Hey, gimel, dalet, vav, lamed. Remembering that the vav is not a vav now, it's an O. So we read it. Et, grammar marker, ha-kohen, meaning the priest. Ha-gadol, meaning the great priest. And the translation is this how you answer the high priest? So quickly read that, and it is et ha-kohen ha-gadol. Grammar marker the priest, the great. And I keep translating it as great rather than high because gadol means great. And then we come to 23, which is represented with Kaf 20, Gimel 3. And then we go through the letters. And we begin. Vav, Yod, Ayin, Nun, Sofid, Aleph, Vav, Tav, Vav, Yod, Hey, Vav, Shin, Ayin, Aleph, Mem, Sofit, Resh, Ayin, Hey, Dalet, Bayet, Resh, Tav, Yod, Hey, Gimel, Dalet, Resh, Ayin, Tav, and Yod. And we read it. Vaya'an. And he answered, remembering that Anah, with the hay's dropped off, but it means to answer, right? And he answered, because of these are prefixes. Oto, meaning him. Yahushua, or Yahusha. If, Ra'ah. Now if we look down here, Ra'ah is a feminine noun meaning evil, bad, wicked, wrong. If wrong, Dibarti, meaning I spoke. Haged, tell. Right, now that's an imperative, right? Tell. Because it's like a questioning hey. Even though in the verb form, higid is a verb to tell, to inform. But we see it's got haged. So it's a questioning hey, and the other hey, which could be there, was dropped off, right? So therefore it's haged, meaning tell. Ra'ati. Literally it means my wrong, tell my wrong, but it's normally translated as tell me my wrong. Right? And then the English is, Yeshua answered him, if I have spoken wrongly, tell me my wrong. So now we can read that. Vaya'an oto Yahushua im ra'ah dibarti haged ra'ati. And the translation, and he answered him, Yahusha, if wrong I spoke, tell me my wrong. And then we have 23b, which has a vav, an aleph, a mem sofit, a tet, a vav, and a vayet, mem dalet, vav, ayin, tav, kaf, hey, lamed, chet, yod, and yod. And then we have v'im, and if, tov, which means good, madua, which means for what reason, ta, ke, which is you struck, because remember that it's hake, meaning to strike, and the tav is second person, or shall, you shall, or you struck. You shall strike, or you struck. Le chaya, chaya, or chayai, because it's like got the AI finish, right? Le chayai, meaning my cheek. And of course it comes from le chi, feminine noun for cheek or jaw. What makes this a bit strange is it looks like the word for life, but then the lamed is not part of the root. It then is a prefix, but in this case it's not a prefix. It's part of the root word, lechi, which is a feminine noun for cheek or jaw. And of course I've got also hika, which was the verb to strike, to hit, right? And that's for this word, where it's got ke, to ke, meaning you struck my cheek. So therefore, the translation is tell me my wrong, but if it was good, why did you strike my cheek? And now we're going to read that. Ve'im tov madua ta ke l'chayai. And the translation, and if good, for what reason you struck my cheek? And now we come to 24, represented with a kaf, value of 20, and a dalet, value of 4. So we go through the letters again. Vav, Yod, Shin, Lamed, Chet, Hey, Vav, Chet Nun Nun Sofit Aleph Samek Vav Resh Bet Aleph Zion Yod Kuf Yod Mem Sofit Aleph Lamed Kuf Yod Fei Aleph Hey Kaf Hey Nun Sofit Hey Gimel Dalet Vav and Lamed. And now we read it. Ve Shale Hu. Ve Shale Hu. And again, we've got prefixes to tell us a completed action. And we know that shalach means to send. So therefore, and he sent, because it's a complete action. And who is him? And he sent him. Hanan, that's who sent him. Hanan, which is translated as Annas, but it's actually Hanan, which is his name. Asur, bound. If we look down here, asar is a kol verb to tie up, to bind, and asur as an adjective is bound or fettered or imprisoned. And then we've got ba'azikim. Now we know that the ba, it means in, so we've got to look at the other word. And it is azik. Azik is a root word, masculine noun. It means a fetter, a shackle, a handcuff, or a chain, right? So therefore it's in chains, because the im at the end is plural, so in chains. El meaning to, Caiaphas, which is translated as Caiaphas. Ha-Kohen, meaning the priest. Ha-Gadol, the great priest, in other words. So we have Annas sent him bound in chains to Caiaphas the High Priest. So let us read that. Ve Shalechehu Hanan Asur Ba'azikim El Caiaphas HaKohen HaGadol. And the translation, and he sent him, Hanan, bound in chains, to Caiaphas, the priest, the great. And we come to 25, represented with a kaf, value of 20, and a hey, value of 5. And the letters, Vav, Shin, Mem, Ayin, Vav, Nun Sofit, Kaf, Fe, Aleph, Ayin, Mem, Dalet, Vav, Mem, Tav, Chet, Mem, Mem Sofit, Vav, Yod, Aleph, Mem, Resh, Vav, Aleph, Lamed, Yod, Vav, Hey, Lamed, Aleph. And now let's read it. The Shimon, and Shimon, which is Simon, of course. Kefa, and that, of course, is Peter. Omed, stood. Umit chamem, and he warmed himself. So let's have a look at that word. Firstly, we got amad, which means to stand, to be situated. And we've got chimem, which is a PL verb, to warm, to heat, to stimulate. The mit prefix is a participle form of the hit pa'el, meaning the reflexive voice, as doing something to oneself. So he warmed himself. Vayom ru, and they said, Eleiv, unto him, Hallo. Now, the hey there is a questioning hey. So, are not. Okay. And the normal translation, now Simon Peter was standing and warming himself. They said to him, are not. And we're going to read it. Shimon, Kefa, Omed, Umit, Chamem, Vayom Ru, Eliav, Hallo. And the translation, and Shimon, Kefa, stood, and he warmed himself, and they said unto him, Are not? And 25b, we have a Gimel, Mem Sofit, Aleph Tav He, Mem Tav Lamed, Mem Yod Dalet Yod Vav, Vav Yod Kaf Chet, Shin Vav Yod Aleph, Mem Resh Lamed Aleph. And then we read Gam, meaning also. Atta, you. Mi Tal Mi Daif, meaning from, that's the mem, from his is the vav at the end, and Talmid are disciples. From his disciples. Ve ka chesh. Ve ka chesh. And he denied it. So kachesh means to deny, right? And he denied it. It's a completed action because of the prefix. Vayomer. And he said, Lo, no, no. Are not you also one of his disciples? He denied it and said, No. So that's the first time he denied it. And then we read it. Gam, ata, mital, mi daif, ve kachesh, vayomer, lo. In the translation, also you from his disciples, and he denied it. And he said, No. And that brings us to the end, and we now want to see in the revision how well we did. So we begin by saying the kaf has a value of 20, the aleph has a value of 1. And then we read, Uma, and what? Tish al, ye shall ask, oti me, shall ask now, et grammar marker, ha shomim, the ones hearing, because we know we got shema in there, the ones hearing, ma what, she di barti, that I spoke. In the translation, and what you shall ask me, ask now, grammar marker, the one hearing what is that I spoke, alehem, unto them, hinam, behold they, yodim, a knowing, literally it's like knowing because it's like a participle, et, asher, what, amarti, I spoke. Or I said. Amar is more like I said, whereas dibar is to speak. So it is unto them, behold they know, or they are knowing, grammar marker what I have said. And then we have kaf 20, ve'et 2. Vehi, and it was, kadab ro, like his speaking, or when he spoke, ha dvarim, the words, ha ele, these, vayak, and he struck, achad, one of, ham sharatim, the servants. And it was, when he spoke the words these, and he struck one of the servants, meaning one of the servants struck. Ha-omed, the one standing, Shema there, et grammar marker, Yeshua, that's the one being struck. Al upon ha lechi, meaning the cheek. Vayomar, and he said, ha kazot, like this. Ta'ane, you will answer. And then the translation, the one standing there, grammar marker Yeshua, upon the cheek, and he said, like this you will answer. At grammar marker Ha Kohen, the priest, Ha Gadol, the great priest. Grammar marker, the priest, the great. And then we have Kaf 20, Gimel 3. We're in 23. Vaya'an, and he answered, O to him, Yahushua, the one answering, Im if Ra'ah, which is wrong or evil or bad, Di barti, I spoke, Haged, tell, Ra'ati, my wrong. And he answered him, Yahushua, if wrong I spoke, tell me my wrong. And then we come to 23b, and it is the im tov, and if good, madua, for what reason, ta ke, you struck, le chayai, meaning my cheek. And if good, for what reason you struck my cheek? Then we have Kaf 20 Dalet 4. We're in 24. And it is Ve'shalechehu, which is and sent him, and he sent him. And then who sent him? Hanan. Asur, which means bound, Ba'azikim, in chains, L2 Caiaphas, Ha-Kohen, the priest, Ha-Gadol, the high, or the great priest. And he sent him, Hanan, bound in chains, to Caiaphas, the priest, the great. And then we have Kaf 20, Hey 5, Va or Ve, Shimon, and Simon, Kepha, Peter, Omed, stood, Umit Chamem, and warmed himself. Vayomru, and they said, Alev, unto him, Hello, are not, or is not. And Shimon, Kepha, stood, and he warmed himself, and they said unto him, Are not. And now we're in 25b, which is Gum, also, Ata you, mi tal mi dayev, from his disciples, Ve kachesh, and he denied it. Vayomer, and he said, Lo, no. And the translation, also you, from his disciples, and he denied it, and he said, no. And now that brings us to the vowel markings, just to refresh ourselves, remembering that this vav becomes an u, and it's called a shuruk. And you can see that the u sound is a relatively short u, shu. And then this one is also the u sound, but it's kubutz. And we can hear it's a longer u sound, kubutz. And then we have a combination of kataf and a Kataf Segol. It's a combination of Shava and Segol. So after the syllable break, it begins with the E sound. So it's Se, a short E sound. Then we have Chirik, it's a short I sound. Kataf Patak, which is a short A sound. And Kataf Kamat, a longer A sound. And finally, we come to the values of the letters. And we know that we were beginning with the Kaf. And then, of course, we have the Aleph, the Vayet, the Gimel, and the Dalet, and the Hay. And combined with the Kaf, it counts 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Right, and I've included also, again, the useful resources which you should use because it will help you dramatically in your practice of Hebrew. And we can't do without the Do It in Hebrew dictionary because we're dealing with the Brit Chadashah, the New Testament, which is, we don't have the Blue Letter Bible in Hebrew. We only have it in Greek. So you can only compare the Greek. So we do hope that these lessons are truly a blessing to you and they are easy enough to follow at whatever level you're at. So we just want to thank you for joining us and we pray you continue in your journey of learning Hebrew. Amen. In Yeshua's great and glorious name.